or night. So when you call up that shrink in Beverly Hills, you know the one. Doctor, everything will be alright. Instead of asking how much of your time is left, ask him how much of your mind, baby. Cause in this life, things are much harder than in the afterworld. This life, you're on your own.
Shade 4-5, Sway in the morning. We had to start this talk off with that song right there, with this music, with that energy, have the beat. What can I say about our next guests are in the studio with us today? When I look at them, I feel like I'm at a family reunion. From as long as I can remember, I partied to their music. I've cried to their music. I've celebrated to their music. It was because of their music that I wanted to pursue playing instruments myself. I talk about this often. I started off playing the song flute. Then I graduated to the clarinet, the alto sax, and then to the bass, the bass clarinet as well. And I'm going to let everybody give a testimony today because of the people we have in here today are extremely exceptional musicians. And they played with arguably one of the greatest entertainers of all time. Somebody I got a chance to see perform in my youth, but I feel like it's still with us today, even though he's passed in the physical. The spirit is still in this room. I'm talking about none other than Prince, and we have the band The Revolution is in here with us this morning. Wow, man! I said the Revolution is in here this morning. Brown Mark is here, Lisa Coleman is here, Matt Fink is here, Bobby Z is here. The Revolution is here with us this morning. How you guys doing, man?
Doing good.
Wow,
yeah.
man. What do we owe this pleasure?
Shows.
Yeah.
We are playing Thursday and Friday at Sony Hall.
At Sony Hall. How has it been performing shows for you guys right now?
We just did ACL down in Austin, and it's been incredible to have this interactive love, grief, seance experience with the audience, with our mentor and leading spirit, Prince.
Yeah, you say seance because
yeah, it's a seance.
I break that down.
Like Purple Rain, yeah.
Like Paper Rain. Like to break that. Why is that? Why you say seance?
Because before every show we join hands and we kind of pay homage to him. We talk to him a little bit before the show, and tell him we're going to go out and have a great show for him. And so yes, it's part seance, part pep talk.
Pep talk.
Yeah.
Does he ever talk back?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Especially when you make a mistake.
Oh, I used to hear all kind of like rumors and myths that if you make a mistake, that what would Prince do if you made a mistake?
Well, your check got smaller.
So that's true. That really would happen.
No, he's kidding.
Sometimes it was based
Pretty
on the old Little Richard or even Fine or everything. But making a mistake, there was two kinds of mistakes. If he was in the spotlight or not in the spotlight. If he was in the spotlight and you made a mistake, you were in trouble. If you made a mistake and you weren't in the spotlight, he was laughing. He was laughing at you.
Okay.
So,
but I'll tell you this, during the Purple Rain tour, he played a game with us, and he used to hold up hands to do horn punches and things and signals. And if he was on the other side of the stage and you saw this, where you couldn't see all the fingers sideways at you, you didn't know how many times to hit the horn punches. So either you laid out or you counted wrong. And if you counted wrong and you played one too many or something, he'd say, "Okay, my turn," and he'd come over, kick you off the keyboards, and play for a while.
He would kick you off?
Yeah, he thought that was funny, and audience thought it was part of the show. And
yeah,
it wasn't meant to hurt you.
No,
really.
a lot of shenanigans.
It was all in fun.
And then he would sing, "I got some money, I got some money."
It was all.
He'd sing a little song about you, he'd call you out and sing your name, and
And he'll improv about your mistake that he's going to pay himself for.
It wasn't mean-spirited at all.
No, it was just,
believe me.
it's the overall thing that
funny.
he was laughing at all of us. I mean, all of us. It was all kind of just a game to him. And he was just having fun with us. But Mark had to relay the signals to me.
Really? Oh, wow. Oh, we got the Revolution in here, man. We're going to open up these phone lines, 888-742-3345. I had a chance, because, I work with MTV. I have for like 18 years, and I had a chance to sit down and interview Prince. And like, I swear, for about a week, I didn't get any sleep, just nervous, about, wow, what is this going to be like? And, and when we met, we had like an hour worth of time to just kind of talk before the interview. And by that time that hour was up, I felt like I had met, I was talking with my uncle, somebody I grew up with, it was really interesting. And then the moment they said, okay, we're going to start the interview, action, he just went into Prince.
Oh, yeah.
And so all the stuff we were talking about, like, I'm like, ask him, yeah, man, so what do you think about politics and blah, blah? And he was just looking at me like we never had that conversation.
Yeah. Exactly.
And we on camera, y'all can relate to that?
And he'll give you that cool answer with the low voice.
Yeah. I couldn't decipher that. So I thought I did something wrong, right? But
either you knew him. That was the thing. People, he was so shy. Well, if you know him, he was not shy.
Not shy.
He wasn't shy.
No, not at all. But it was a kind of a vibe and a whole protective kind of aura that he had, and he was very careful what he said to the media, obviously. So you got played a little bit, but that's Prince.
Hey, man, I got played by Prince. I'm proud of it. All right, but another time after a Grammy Awards show, we sat in at House of Blues and had a 2-hour conversation about the music business, and this is when the internet was becoming prevalent in all of our lives, and he gave us some great advice. Over for 2 hours, he just talked about the business and the mechanics of the business and how not to get raped by the business and manipulated by the business. Did he talk to you guys about business a lot, Lisa? Or
No.
No.
Well, I know that he had a lot of feelings about the business, and it's just kind of. I think he assumed that we were, his army, and that when he had an opinion about something, that we were just, we had his back, and we knew how, by his behavior, how he felt about the business, and he was very clever and came up with a lot of great ideas on how to do things, and. If he was giving you advice, he was a good person to get advice from, because he knew a lot, and he knew like how much you needed to, play the game, and how much you could kind of get away with, making up your own rules and doing it your own way.
He was innovative, that's for sure. And
He's
very savvy about the music industry.
He studied a lot of the OGs like James Brown. And, he really studied how they worked the industry, and he got a lot of his ideas from that.
In the 30s, I mean, he used to say, "Why can't I put out a record every month?" And then James Brown, "Why can't I put an album every 6 months?" And the marketing was frustrating him, the holding him back. The thing about Purple Rain is the movies kind of slowed him down. So that album had a lot of time and to distill and be, even write better songs. The beautiful ones bumped Electric Intercourse, and things happened that finally gave him a moment had to work on something, and it became the masterpiece it is. Not that everything else wasn't, but he was just don't look back, don't look back, don't look back. And on the internet, he was just, why can't I just sell my stuff directly? Why do I need this record company? Why? He was just ahead of every, He
was way ahead.
Way ahead.
Yeah. And they tried to paint him like he was crazy or difficult. No. But he saw something now. You've seen these kids do it now. Like they skipping.
He saw it.
They're making their money now.
They're making their money now. It's all coming back to them. You brought up the movie Purple Rain, which was everybody's favorite. In the movie, it alluded that Wendy and Lisa, you guys started the bass track for Purple Rain, handing him a demo that he wouldn't listen to, and then finally he did and added to it. Is there any truth in that, or is that? We all thought that's how that happened.
No.
It's Hollywood.
Oh, is that what that was?
It's a movie.
It's a movie.
Basically.
Okay.
No, and when we had ideas, he wouldn't just drop it under his bike and roll over it, which was my big line in the movie.
Yeah.
No, I mean it was more like, things just happened at rehearsals. We shared a lot, and I don't know that storyline was.
That song is kind of in reverse though, because he had it as a piano. and he brought it to us, and it was a group kind of experience moment when Purple Rain would gelled. You know, so with Prince, it's either a song was complete or half complete or something, and he'd bring it to you. Every day was just every song was like a fingerprint. Everything was different the way it was put together. So
wow. But DJ Wonder, you actually got a chance, and you and Kelly got a chance.
Alongside Kelly Kincaid, we went for Super Bowl. We saw you guys perform at Paisley Park. Probably one of the greatest performances I've seen ever.
Wow,
man.
Thank you.
Because I love Prince. I love the band itself. But one thing I noticed is that you guys still do the dance steps and everything, which was very intricate style even back in '84 or whatever. How do you keep up like with rehearsals and keeping the steps down?
Well, Mark choreographed all that stuff.
Yeah, Mark did a lot of that. We take a lot of emergency before shows.
5 hour
kind of like a B12 boost kind of thing.
Coffee, lots of coffee.
Coffee.
Anything, like that. Energy boost.
Hey, believe me, after every show, I got to go soak for about 3 hours.
Yeah,
It ain't like it was back when I was 19.
Ben Gay is sponsoring our tour. Geritol, all that.
Yep. Hot yoga.
But you know what was really cool is
yoga.
on a couple of the songs, like we forgot about some of those steps, and then when we did some live gigs, the audience, they were actually doing the steps, and it reminded us, and we're like, oh, we should do that, and so they actually made us, reminded
They're
us to do
teaching
that
us
stuff.
back.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah. The audience is like showing you.
They
yeah.
remember everything.
There'll
they
be a
know
whole
everything.
group. You'll see a whole section of the audience moving. They'll be like, oh, dun, 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 dun.
They come dressed
they
up.
do the
They got every
steps.
step down. I'm like, oh, that's how that went.
Wow, that's great.
People studied those videos, man.
Wow,
That's
the
crazy.
fanfare that was around this movement, it trickled down to you guys too. I'm sure y'all couldn't go anywhere without those same fans hanging you up.
That's
Right?
correct.
Back
yeah.
in the day,
How did you handle it? How did you?
Well,
security.
We would sneak out the back way of restaurants and malls. They'd be gathered at the doorway in droves, and then we'd tell them, "Can you take us through the catacombs of the mall and get
back
us out of
doors
here?"
of hotels.
all that stuff.
I mean, because Prince's Glow, you couldn't go. I mean, he couldn't go anywhere.
No.
So if you were even near him, you had to make Plan B for sure.
I had the privilege of being ripped to shreds a few times.
Oh man, you're a lucky dude, bro. Piano on the Microphone, 1983. Is this project, this posthumous project? Y'all have obviously listened to it, right? Have you?
Lisa did the liner notes.
You did all the
on
liner notes, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
How did this come together, and how much hands-on did you have in it?
Really, apparently it was a bootleg for a while.
Okay.
Fans had it. Somehow they found it. It wasn't unusual for Prince to record and just that's like a notebook or something. You just use cassettes, and so that wasn't unusual that he made a tape like that. But just that it had the collection of songs and that it has, and that it was at a period of time when he was really right about to become, Prince, really big with Purple Rain, and so to listen to this particular tape is a chance to hear somebody reflecting on their greatness, on wanting to be great and having the opportunity to go out and prove it, and you hear him thinking and trying things on that tape, and so it was really I had never heard it before, and they sent it to me to write down some thoughts, and it was very painful actually for me at first, just to hear him talking, and I had headphones on, and there he was right in my head, and it's a very intimate kind of tape. If you should listen to it with headphones on, and I know it's not a tape now, but I keep talking about it as a tape. Get your cassette player, and but yeah, it's really something.
And in it, you could hear what I find fascinating is you hear the rough drafts almost, and they sound so like they could have been final drafts today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we're gonna play. Let's play Purple Rain. let's play Purple Rain from Piano and the Microphone from 1983. We got the Revolution here. You guys have any questions? 888-742-3345. Here is Prince from Piano and the Microphone. Oh, that cue. That setup was so great, old cue, man. Oh, my God. Let's see. It's coming. All right. Okay. Have you guys heard it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It shows you that how much he can cover by himself. Territory, he covers by himself. Then the band fills in the color. But that's the first thing I noticed about him when I saw him when we were kids, is just his ability to cover the music with one instrument. Whatever that instrument is, you can hear the whole song.
Yeah.
And also the fact that he improvises off the top of his head so flawlessly when he's writing like that and just playing. It just flows from his brain to the tips of his fingers so easily. So you just don't hear him make mistakes.
Not really.
Doing that, it's amazing.
Was that how the music was made? He would play all the parts, and then you guys would just play over.
It depends on the song.
Depends on the song, but I would see him in the studio just brain to fingers the part in one take.
Like they said about Mozart, it just kind of came out, no mistakes. It's just there.
Yeah. How was he about like sharing the writing? Like you guys you wrote on 17 Days, right? But how was he about that? Was
always good.
Depends on the song, but always good, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to play this Purple Rain from Piano and the Microphone 1983. Take a listen to this. Man, don't be hitting those effects over Prince playing, man. You could have let that song finish through, old Q. That's from Piano and the Microphone 1983. This is an album you could pick up now. Sit at home and live with it and breathe with it. We got the Revolution in here.
If any of you can just be transparent and share. We've all dealt or will have to deal with at some point the loss of a loved one. And it's hard to move on. Some people tell you, oh, just go back to work. It's to just get your mind off it. And Lisa, I think you made a point to me that rang home so true. Just hearing a voice and having someone so close in your head, it's almost sad, and to a degree you feel like you reliving something all over again, and it is painful. If any of you can share maybe what was that moment or something that happened where you were able to move on and able to go perform, for God's sakes, again, what helped?
The audience helped. Immediately we helped each other, the band. Just being together and knowing that there were these 5 people in the world that we walked on the moon together. It's like we know what we're feeling. There are very few people that could really understand that kind of relationship that we had with him, and then to lose him, and then come back together and be playing these shows. I mean, it's profound. It's the kind of thing that doesn't happen in life. Our lives have been truly blessed, and we've had this adventure, and he brought us together, and we worked, and we did this thing, and we conquered the mountain, and then here we are years later without him, and we've been to the mountaintop, and and we know how great it is too. So even when we're missing him, we can find joy in just all the work and all the adventures we had, and all the love that has been shared with so many people. I mean, it's incredible when we go out and play a show, and the response that we get, and the love that people have for Prince, and that's a good way to deal with it.
These songs are life cycle songs for people. People got married, people got conceived, people had birthdays. It's just Prince is such and the Revolution. Those albums Around the World a Day, Purple Rain, and Parade just really resonate with the hits of some of Prince's biggest hits, and they come to hear these and relive their lives in a moment. But for us personally, to answer your question, We didn't do anything for a year. We talked to each other for a year, but we didn't play or anything for a year. We just really couldn't process the whole thing. And then a year later, we did 3 shows at First Avenue in honor of him. But it was just kind of talking to each other and planning slowly, but just kind of trudging through the mud with the whole thing, trying to grasp that Prince was no longer on Earth. And for me, as knowing him as a kid, it almost took away the rudder of the boat. I really, for a while, just as a drummer, as a musician, he was such a huge part of our lives. It's a profound loss. It's a profound thing we're doing, like Lisa said, but it's a profound loss.
And I know for me, I had a spiritual connection with him. We share the same faith, and a lot of times when we were together, that's when I really got to see the depth of him more so than in a business, a business circle. And what he would do is he partied. He'd throw parties. He party man. I mean, and every single time I was around him, you want to go play? It's like, yeah, let's go play. And so I found that, because I had retired from the music industry in 1992. And when he passed away, before he passed away, I was thinking about getting back in, and I was working on some projects. But I found that to face that pain head on, pick up my instrument, and do what he would do. What would he do in this situation? And I did that, and it was such a relief for me. Then when we decided to get back together, it was like therapy. And so every time we got to playing, you would see the center stage. Even to this day, we leave the center stage blank until the guest singer comes out. And it's because nobody can fill that spot ever. And me and Wendy share in the vocals. And so as we would work through the show, going through every little piece and every little detail, it was a healing moment because you knew you had his blessing. You knew that when we listened back, we'd be like, we was kicking. We know that he would have a smile on his face. So that was healing for me, and I'm sure with the rest of the group too.
Yeah, well said.
Well said. But thank you for sharing that too. Tracy, you got a question?
Yes, really quickly. And it's such an honor to have all 4 of you guys here. Thank you so much for sharing your time and all of these stories. I'm wondering, since you guys are all magnificent musicians in your own right, was there ever a time that another artist tried to go behind Prince's back and steal one of you guys? Because we hear some of these type of scandals, mostly with dancers.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
many times.
That happened.
Who?
Rick James.
Rick James?
They stole our gear.
Rick came after you once?
Rick James came after me once. There was a few others I won't mention, but yeah.
Okay.
I had a couple too.
For the most part, nobody wanted to mess with Prince, really. So it was just he was a pretty strong leader. But the fact that you're saying that and we're recognized as individuals is probably to his credit, and we appreciate the opportunity to show our gifts and continue to do that.
Right.
As musicians with your guys' solo work, do you find any of his chord progressions or anything has rubbed off on you in your own
Definitely.
music?
Yeah, for me, definitely. I mean,
Yes.
his whole style.
As the film composer, that's a good question for
I
that.
know, yeah. It's funny because I left after the band broke up, and I started doing other things, and I got into scoring, and I have a lot of influences, but I didn't realize until kind of coming back into it, the things that I had taken, and because of replaying the songs now, I'm like a different musician, and I know more, and I know different things, and so just looking at my hands on the keyboard and go, this was a Prince thing, this is the way he always played, and then I realized I've taken that.
Yeah, but
that's
he
in
learned
my body now.
He learned a lot from you too. I remember.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
did.
we traded.
He was a sponge. He took just enough of just everything from Beethoven to Mozart to you know,
Lisa
the
Coleman.
Everly Brothers, everything. You just take a little bit of this, yeah.
One of the biggest things I learned from him was there are no rules.
Okay.
Do not follow rules when you're creating music. You follow your heart. You write what you feel. You write what makes you feel good. And that was one of the biggest lessons he taught me. So when I first started learning how to write, I was on Motown. And, you know, a lot of my stuff was like, woo, you know, but it was what I felt. And through that, I started to develop. And then I started to realize, wow, I play bass a lot like him. I'll play the guitar a lot like him. And then you start realizing that that was your influence. He was a huge influence on all of us.
Well, we got the revolution in here. DB, I know you got a question.
Yes, I do. Like Wonder, I'm also a big fan of Prince and the whole.
Look at that
Oh,
Dove
you
Strike
got
shirt.
the-
Yeah.
So
You got the shirt.
You got a T-shirt on right
Oh yeah,
now.
yeah. No,
Almost showed us that pudge
just
right
as a huge fan of the movie Purple Rain as well, not just the soundtrack. But have there been any talks of a Prince biopic? And if there is one in the future, would you guys be a part of it?
You know, the answer is I'm sure there's talk of a biopic. Have they asked us? No. I think he's only been gone 2 years. You know, I think it's all this stuff is just kind of being talked about, bubbling around in Hollywood. I hope they don't have an actor yet, you know, I mean, or try to do anything like that yet. It just seems way blasphemous and too early, but, you know, people... Yeah.
Look how long.
Yeah.
Look how long it's
No,
taken
thank
to do
you.
the Queen biopic
like
coming
20
out
years,
now,
so-
and they're just talking about the Elton John one now.
Yeah, I
that
hope
they're-
people go really
So it's
slow.
and
with
he's not
that.
even gone, and they're doing Elton John.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
So-
do you think it was too soon? I know we were at the
Yeah.
Super Bowl last year when Justin Timberlake had the hologram of Prince.
Well, it wasn't really a hologram. It was
what
just
was
a
it?
projection.
A projection.
on some cloth.
You know, I think we played for his party at Paisley. I think, you know, Justin was damned if you do, damned if you don't. I mean, if you
Yeah.
don't acknowledge Prince in Minneapolis at the Super Bowl, in the guy who did the greatest halftime show of the Super Bowl of all time, if you don't pay attention to that,
Yeah.
you're wrong. If you show a little bit of him, you're wrong. You know, so I think it was pretty tasteful to me. It didn't, you know,
Y'all were okay
it was
with
an
that?
homage,
Yeah, it didn't bother us.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
that.
We
Yeah.
understood.
You understood it, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the revolution of hair, man. I know it's another show scheduled to come up,
Sure.
but there's some callers, man. I can't, you know, I won't be able to come to work tomorrow if we don't let our listeners get a few questions in. Carlin is on the line from New Orleans. Real quick, you have a question? Go ahead, Carlin.
Not really so much a question, first of all. I mean, just listening to the interview, Heather B. mentioned transparency. You all mentioned blessings. You mentioned sponge of the music. All of that is what I'm pleased to have gotten from being invited by music executives here in New Orleans, Nicole Robinson. She worked with Spike Lee when you guys came here, Essence Before Last and did a private symposium, The Revolution. So I thank you guys for coming, and it's like me reliving that and listening to you. And the best item I've ever gotten in any gift bag was you all gave us the liner notes from Purple Rain. And to make you laugh, I brought that to Michael's because I wanted every page laminated. I wanted it bound. I had one of the executives call me to ask me where I got it from.
Wow.
And I said, well, the Revolution gave this to me as a gift. And he was just like, what? And I said, yes, I am proud to say the Revolution gave this to me as a gift. And I just want to thank you for the gift that you were to him
Thank you.
and all of that time. And I don't want Hollywood to tell me what they think about Prince's life and have a biopic. I never want to see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
Like,
cool.
you know,
I'm with you.
Lisa
Thanks.
said, you know, Tom Cruise might end up.
Yeah.
You don't want to see Tom? Tom might. All right. Okay. Rick from Los Angeles, you got a question?
Yeah, first of all, let me just say thank you for everything, because the music is amazing. But my question is, do we know who the song "The Beautiful Ones" was written for?
You know,
Well,
you could guess.
could be Susanna Melvoin.
Probably Susanna. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you
The
hear that?
Wendy's twin
Wendy's
sister.
sister, yeah.
Her twin sister?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what that's always been said, though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because she's a beautiful one.
She's a beautiful one. Okay, you got that, Rick?
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. 9 from Texas. What's your question, real quick?
Man, first of all, thank y'all for the honor, man, of being able to talk to y'all, man. It's been a pleasure being a fan of Prince and the Revolution for such a long time. Just want to say he was so charismatic that a friend of mine named Jamarian, we was trying to figure out how in the world do we get costumes or outfits that look like matadors, man. I didn't know where the heck he got that from, for real. But the question that I have for you is, and I feel so embarrassed for asking, but with the internet nowadays circulating, you're able to see pictures or hear stories, and the story of the E! True Hollywood story that Charlie Murphy brings up about Prince being able to play basketball. Now, there's a picture where he's actually like in a uniform with a team. So I'm okay. I know he was on a basketball team, but is it true that he really played basketball? Is that a true story?
Yes, it's true.
He loved basketball.
And he was, during breaks and rehearsal, we'd play basketball, and he could make 3-pointers from 3/4 court, and he was
with a 3-inch heel.
Yeah,
and he also liked softball and ping pong.
Ping pong, yeah. We played a little touch football.
Touch football. He used to take us to play games.
He was a real athlete. Probably an incredible athlete, actually.
Man, thanks for your question, 9. Listen, I want to thank you guys. Give them a big round of applause.
Thank you.
Absolutely. The Revolution, man. And then if people want to see where you guys are performing, how can they find out?
Go to Sony Hall's website or on our Facebook page. Yeah.
Okay.
Revolution
on
Facebook. But if you're in New York, Thursday and Friday night here at Sony Hall, we'll be there.
Facebook and Instagram, Twitter. We got a Twitter feed.
And if you're going to the ACL Festival this Sunday or this weekend, we'll be there Sunday at 6 p.m.
Right. Yeah. I want
this Sunday.
This Sunday?
Yes.
We'll promote it this week, too. We'll make it a part of our news segment. We'll keep telling people, sending people there. But I want to thank you. I really thank you for coming on this show.
Thank you, Sway.
Absolutely. I bumped into all you guys individually at some point or another over the years.
You're a pioneer, too. You all that MTV stuff.
Yeah. Thank you. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you guys sharing these stories about him. I work in the media. I don't listen to media and how they portray our people, and I wanted folks to get the real from the real about who he was, and you guys' his personal experiences, and that's the Revolution. So thank you, and we'll continue to talk about him. We'll continue to play the music. We'll continue to promote what you guys are doing. His spirit is in the room,
Right. It is, sir.
Yes. Absolutely. We feel that. And also, we want to thank our other guests for coming by today. Maggie Gyllenhaal for coming through.
Yeah, she's the producer and star of the new film, The Kindergarten Teacher, in theaters and on Netflix October 12th.
And Torrey, who works at Hip Hop Nation, on the tour guide, 4 to 10 p.m. on Channel 44. Channel 44. He got his new album, All Praises Due. You can pre-order that right now. Tomorrow's show, who we got, OQ?
We got Rachel Ray stopping by, as well as Joey Perp and Styles P and Dave East.
Okay, Joey Perp. All right. Cool. And have to be, how can they reach you?
Is that short for purple? No, just kidding.
It is, though.
Pretty much
is. Short for purple. I'm at the Happy Hour, WHB.
Okay, Tracy G.
Citizens, Instagram for me at it's Tracy G, ITSTRACYG.
Everywhere, it's really DB.
Hey, you can check me out on Instagram at OQ Shoots.
At DJ Wonder everywhere.
I'm at Real Sway across the board. You will also, this was live, so you can hear it back over and over again. Go to SiriusXM.com.
/on-demand, citizens. That's our on-demand at SiriusXM.com.
And then we'll post it on our YouTube channel, Sway's Universe, tomorrow, man. And just look at it over and over and over again. And get the real from the Revolution, okay? Forget the headlines, the smear campaigns, all those things. Get the real from the Revolution, okay?
That's right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, absolutely. And until tomorrow, we have nothing. Matter of fact, let's end. 17 days, all right? And until tomorrow, we have nothing. You got it? Left to say.
Is that my echo?